When you say Star Wars, I think of sci-fi, big budget movies, merchandise, and just an overall good movie.
When I think of Star Wars, I think of a series which will last with me for as long as I live.
When I think Star Wars, I think ancient mythological stories of good versus evil told with a veneer of space opera sci-fi.
I think my favourite Star Wars movie would have to be The Phantom Menace, because it was the first movie that I ever saw, and the first Star Wars movie that I ever saw, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, my whole family used to watch it together when I was younger, so it also brings back happy memories as well.
My favourite Star Wars film, I'd have to say, is The Empire Strikes Back, because it's not often you see the good guys lose and the bad guys win. It's interesting, it's new, it's different.
My favourite Star Wars film would have to be Revenge of the Sith, even though it's part of the prequels and they weren't well received as the original trilogy. But it's more emotional meaning to me as part of my childhood, Revenge of the Sith.
My favourite character in Star Wars, I think, is Anakin Skywalker, because I think he truly represents who everybody is, and no one is purely good and no one is purely evil. Everyone has that good and bad in them, and I think that his transformation from good to evil is kind of embedded in all of us.
I'd have to say my favourite character in the Star Wars films is Luke Skywalker. He's the everyman, you can relate to him, he's the whiny teenager, you know who he is.
My favourite Star Wars character would have to be Han Solo. I think he's a galaxy flying badass who doesn't pay his debts and does what he wants, and is a very masculine man.
What I think of Force Awakens, I was very sceptical at first because it had changed hands and Disney was making it, and I wasn't sure if they were going to pull it off, but I think they did it really well and I really enjoyed it from the very start.
I thought The Force Awakens was really good. Better than Return of the Jedi, which is saying something, as I loved that movie as a kid. It's one of the better movies, better than the prequels by any means, and definitely better than Rogue One, so I loved that movie.
What I thought of The Force Awakens, I thought it was like watching an Elvis tribute man in Las Vegas. It's okay if you have a few drinks in Friday night, but it's not the original.
My predictions for The Last Jedi is I think that Rey is going to have a change of heart, and I think that she possibly could have the chance of turning over to the dark side, or being like not forced but maybe being, just come over here, but because that's what happened in the previous ones, because she's all good but she's what we thought of Anakin Skywalker when we first saw him, but I think that she might be tempted to turn.
My predictions for The Last Jedi are that Rey will turn to the dark side, because that was definitely set up in The Force Awakens, and I think it will come true.
My favourite Star Wars quote has to be Obi-Wan Kenobi when he says that there is always a bigger fish, because it is a true reflection of reality, and you're never bigger than you actually think you are, and there is always going to be a bigger fish out there.
My favourite quote has got to be when Han Solo says, "Never tell me the odds," because it kind of just shows you that character distilled into one sentence.
My favourite Star Wars quote would be Palpatine from Revenge of the Sith, where he says, "Anakin, I told you it'd come to this. I was right. The Jedi are taking over."